really, to grow a big business that we'll call an empire, or you've got just a big team or a really big restaurant or a big firm.
You're not reinventing the wheel on every iteration. It's already set.
But what happens if that person leaves and I need to replace them? But if
Okay, talking now about how to run an empire. Dun dun dun. Can one person be an emperor? Should one?
so we're
Is that
talking,
the right question you want to answer?
So we're talking more about, as a business owner, I've now got a pretty large team.
Yes.
Or, some of my clients, they've got really large teams that they manage doing so many different things, oftentimes even multiple companies. So it's like, that's the conversation of like, how do I do it all? How do I run this big operation? I've got, studios in both Utah and Florida, different filming teams, big, huge team in the Philippines. And it really comes down to getting really good at creating systems, really good at delegating the things that are really hard to delegate, meaning things that I don't want to let go of, that I think, well, I'm the only one that can do it. I'm the best at this. No one else can do it as good as me. It's like really trying to figure out how to just take little pieces of things that I'm good at and hiring other people to do it.
Have you figured that out? I mean, is that working?
So absolutely. And there's still more to learn. Like, I think the reason that my company has gone to the point that it is because I've figured it out to a degree. And the more I figure it out, the more I'll be able to grow and scale and to help more and more people.
But that's the key, is to have, I mean, if we're talking about a monarchy as an empire, let's say, you're the king. Talking about getting people, letting go of certain responsibilities and key components of the business that you feel like only you can do, you're finding others that you can offload those to.
Well, because you think about, the vision and excitement somebody has for starting their own business. Maybe they worked in a restaurant and they're like, man, I want to run my own.
Yeah.
And so they open up their own restaurant, but they're wearing all these hats. And they're putting in more time, because not only are they the chef and the waiter, they're the bookkeeper,
right.
They're the security guard.
They're HR. Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. They got to take care of everything. And so really, to grow a big business that we'll call an empire, or you've got just a big team or a really big restaurant or a big firm, it's like, how do you do that? You've really just got to trust in other people. You've got to hire people to run different divisions or different. I use the word system all the time, and I remember not really understanding what a system is. But if I know that, okay, this is how we film, we set up the camera, and this is how we frame it, and I outline every little detail. I like to have the aperture wide open so that we can blur the background. I create a checklist, or this is what we do, and every time we film, and that becomes the system. Mm-hmm. Because I could have it in my head, and I could know how to set up the camera every time, but if I put it down on paper, now it's a system that I could hand to a videographer and say, follow this system every time we film. This is what you do with the mics. This is when we film in this room with the books or whatever.
You're not reinventing the wheel on every iteration. It's already set. And that helps to facilitate letting go of certain responsibilities.
Yeah, I mean, if I think of a really big business, we talk about Elon Musk a lot because I like that guy and I like what he creates.
Feelings for him.
Yes, we can think about, he's got kind of an empire size.
Well, I think that qualifies. Company. Yes.
Yeah, from Tesla, that's an empire of a company. You've got SpaceX. You've got all the other businesses that he's got. How does he run it all?
Yeah.
Well, he doesn't. He's not the CEO of every company. He's the visionary.
Right. Yeah.
He's the visionary. He's the creative, and he puts in the part that he's really good at. But he's not the one running any of the machinery. He's not the one that fills it. He's there to watch and observe and create and innovate, and so that's how you do it, is by. And so you got to start small. Like, you're not just going to become an Elon Musk level business overnight, And certainly I've got a light years away to get to that level. But I'm in a place in my business that might seem light years ahead of where I was a decade ago. And that's really what I've done, is I've figured out what are the systems that I'm running and documenting them so that I can hire somebody else to do it. And if that person, Like I train people and I put energy and effort to train them and help them level up their skills. But what happens if that person leaves and I need to replace them? But if it's created as a system, there's a certain process that they follow.
Yeah.
You can just hand that system to somebody else.
So what's your pipeline for talent? Where do you go?
When I'm hiring somebody in the Philippines, the website that has been the golden resource is virtualassistanttool.com. And you can find people of all different skill sets there. They've got computers, they've got internet connection, they speak English. So I create the system and I hire them to run that system.
And for them to find you, I mean, are you placing ads on virtualassistantwhatever.com? I see.
So it's like a jobs.com or monster.com for Filipinos that want to work for
gig
Americans.
workers, who want a gig, and not necessarily a full-time.
Philippines are actually there. It's more than like Fiverr or Upwork because those are more project-based.
Yeah.
But Virtual Assistant Tool, these are people that are looking for a career. One of the things that they value most is stability because they don't really have it offered very, very often. They can get a job on a cruise ship where they're gone for 6 or 9 months at a time, and then they make a little bit of money that they can send back to their family. Or they'll get a job that they have an awful, terrible commute. But oftentimes people will leave, and they'll leave their family for 6 months at a time to make $600 a month or $500 a month. So when you can offer that same amount of income, and yet they get to work from home, they get to control their schedule. When the pandemic hit, they didn't have to worry about things being shut down because they worked from their home. They could keep working.
Now, for those that are looking to hire, in-country people here to build out a team, I mean, and you've had to do that, obviously. You have teammates.
It's actually harder.
Members.
It's been harder for me to find people locally than it has been to find people in the Philippines. So find people locally, I've used LinkedIn. I've paid for their recruiter service. I've tried using job boards to not very good success. Referral, just asking people, who do you know? So that's been the way to find people here.
Let's talk about training. So you've got the system in place, but they still need to be trained on the system. How do you go about doing that?
Yeah, I hire people for a trial project. And this works for both the Philippines and USA. So in the Philippines, let's say I'm hiring a new editor. I'll hire them for a trial project and saying, this is what the video files and assets look in the beginning. This is what a completed video looks like. Run, see what you can do. And if they get it 80% of the way there, then it's like, great, okay, here's some more tweaks you need to make. They'll get it 95%. Okay, here's some final tweaks. Okay, great, now it's at 100. If they've taken initiative to get 80% there on their own, okay, they've got the skills, they can get started. And if they can take the feedback and here's what you did right, here's what you did wrong, and they can run with it, then we give them another project. And so it's like we have a system, we have it mapped out.
Do you pay them for the second project?
Oh yeah, I'll pay them for the first one.
Oh, you do? Okay,
yeah.
All right. So
it's like we're hiring you on a trial basis.
Yeah.
When I hire somebody here in the USA, it's like, all right, I'm going to hire you as an assistant videographer. You'll come and I'll pay you for the full day. If that day goes well, if the coworker, the other videographer works well with them, the clients like them, it's like, all right, we'll hire you back again, and we'll hire you back again. That's why I like independent contractors or hiring people in the Philippines, because you can hire people on a trial basis versus USA employees. You've got to sign the paperwork and contract and get all insurance and everything even before they. That's rough.
Americans. Can't live with them, can't kill them.
Now, I've got a gift for you. Okay, I wrote a book. I published this earlier this year, but it took me 2 years to write. This is a book on how to leverage YouTube to generate leads in your business. And so if that's something that you want to do, I want to give you my book for free. Now, you do need to pay the shipping cost, but as long as you cover that, this is my gift to you. Just go to natesyoutubebook.com. I know if you read this book, you'll really be able to do what I've done on over 50 different YouTube channels and really leverage YouTube to generate leads. I've helped channels produce 7 and 8 figures just from following this strategy. Enjoy.